Hello, and welcome to another episode of AWS Tech Tales. I'm your host, Matt Burke.
And I am your co-host, Zhamara Reaño. Welcome back, everyone, and happy Monday.
Oh, Trixar, welcome back. First one here. Welcome. So
Oh, look
Jaguar
at that.
tried to beat you, but they weren't swift enough. Folks, this is the show where we talk about real life customer issues and what you can do to solve them. Today, we finish a three-part series that Zhamara has been working through on Amazon Athena. But unlike some of our other part ones, part twos, and this one's a part three, you don't need to have to know anything about what we did in the other episodes to dive into this one. So, thanks, Surly Dev. Hello, welcome. Eerie Edits, hello.
Hello. Oh,
Welcome,
good.
everyone. This is
Yeah,
great.
welcome back, everyone.
Yeah, welcome back. I'm so excited to have you all here. Now, for those in the chat, let us know if you've used Amazon Athena before. There was a call up from Zhamara last week in terms of having people play around, get comfortable, because we're going to do some more advanced things today. At least Zhamara has told me. I haven't seen them myself. More advanced things today than we did the last couple of weeks where we're trying to get folks' feet wet. So let us know, have you used Athena yet? Or do you use Athena today in your work or I guess in your personal life?
Yeah. And I think also like a lot of us, whenever we're going through studying through the material for the different AWS certifications, we have like an overview knowledge of what it does, but we never actually get our hands on keyboard and play around with it. So I kind of call it out and said, hey, if you haven't, go ahead, do it. And we share a workshop to be able to do so. So if you did, let us know.
Swift Jaguar says, all I know is what it is. It's a SQL querying databases. Yes, you can use SQL queries to take a look at your data and build reporting. And Surly Dev says, I'll admit, I'm usually out on a Monday night. I haven't heard of Amazon Athena.
Well,
But they're spending their time in a very different way than us tomorrow.
Well, I was just going to say, if you want to catch up on the past two series episodes where we dive into the basics and then just kind of how to create it, what it does, how you can connect it, all those sorts of things, you can always refer back to our community page. And I'll share that link with you, Matt, so we can push it out to the audience. And then you can kind of get more information regarding and probably watch those two episodes and kind of get yourself caught up to date.
Or scrub through them. We're here for the whole hour to hang out with you. I feel like people don't watch the recording just to watch the whole thing.
No, yeah, of course. But you can, kind of just dive into the different documentation that we have. And it's pretty much like in the links that we have pushing out today as I walk through this presentation, you're pretty much going to be able to go back and kind of deep dive into everything that you want to know. It's the general documentation to talk about Amazon Athena. So I think that you should be able to get all the information that you're looking for there.
Shirley does says Emma Athena, Alexa's sister. No, it is not Alexa's sister.
I love that though. I love that reference.
And Swift Jagger's asking, does it only work in like RDS or DynamoDB? So you can start with S3. That's the easiest thing to do. But then there's other pieces that you can connect.
Oh, yes. And that's essentially, that's essentially what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about and walk through how you can connect it to other places, not just use it straight up with S3. So stay tuned.
So yeah, you can check out our previous episodes here. You can scroll down to the bottom of season 4. And we're still going all the way to season.
Sorry, scroll up.
We got a lot of episodes. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So you see at the bottom there, the Tale of Amazon Athena. That's the first one, and then we will put a couple more on after this show.
Yeah, exactly. And like we said before, just click on the show notes, and you should be able to navigate to that past episode. Read the episode summary, and then you can also catch the episode video here as well as the links from the previous episodes that we share regarding the subject. So you have all the information. I think someone was asking for that. So there you go. Perfect spot that you can have kind of like all of that in one place.
Yeah, so if you ever just want to find quick links to things, you don't have to watch the episode, I guess.
That's true. You just go to the show notes and they have all the links there.
So, Zhamara, what are we diving into today?
So today we're going to start off, I guess, this part of using Amazon Athena federated queries. So what we're talking about, right? If you have data sources like other than S3, and you want to use federated query to query the data that is in other places, we're pretty much going to go through the motions of how you will connect those other data sources into Athena to be able to query it exactly where you want that data to come from. So you can read more about it on how the federated queries work. And then I think I already pushed this link, if I am not mistaken.
I can share it with the chat.
Put it here. Okay. So that's it one. And so pretty much Athena uses the data source connectors that run on Lambda to run those federated queries. So the data source connector pretty much is like a piece of code that can translate between your target data source and Athena. And so we're going to see everything play out in real time right now. And then you kind of going to see that it's like pretty straightforward. That it's not too difficult to do. And like I said, you can use it to query things outside of S3. So it's not that you can only use Athena directly with S3.
So this would be useful for if you got some data that's in a file, you got some data that's in a database, and you got some data, that's floating out in the ocean.
And you summon it to come.
Yeah. So we have data lake as a thing, but no one ever talks about data ocean.
The data ocean, that's a good one. Sounds complicated.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go ahead and open my console right here. So let me just check in to make sure that you're able to see. Should I probably make it bigger? Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to start off pretty much by, well, actually, you know what will work best right now is for us to actually go through kind of like the environment that we're going to be looking at. So let me pull that up for you. I think I already have it here. Yeah. So this is pretty much kind of like the different data sources that we're going to be doing today. So as you can see, we have Amazon Athena with the federated query, and we have Amazon Athena on the top. Like I said, you can store the data on Amazon S3, and you can query from the Amazon S3, but you can also integrate it with the Lambda that pretty much would invoke the different connections that we're going to do. For today, we're going to do HBase on EMR, Aurora MySQL, DynamoDB, and Redis. And as you can see, the different sources are going to contribute different points of data, pretty much to create, this environment that will have you getting information from different sources. So HBase is going to be giving us the line items. Aurora MySQL is going to be giving us the orders, the customer and supplier. DynamoDB is going to be giving us parts and part up data. And then the Redis is going to give us the nations and the active orders that we will have. So we're going to pretty much follow on that example that we have been using in the past 2 episodes, which it concentrates on the environment when you're pulling sales data.
We have a quick question from Swift Jaguar. It's saying, I know you guys aren't talking about S3, but say I stored objects that are like pictures in a folder. Can I query for my picture, since I've got a million pictures in the folder and I'm looking for my cat Jeremy? So we're specifically talking about the data that is in the files that is in S3. You're talking about, I'm looking for my files that are in S3 and I want to look by object name. So there are ways to do that, and we actually talked about that in a previous episode. We talked a little bit about S3 metadata and S3 tables, and S3 metadata will help you with that to actually query like where my data is as opposed to what my data is. So hopefully that's helpful, and I'll drop a link in the chat for that episode.
Yeah. That was a great question, actually, because it's always good to kind of have like a good understanding of exactly what we're talking about when we're saying we're querying data in S3. All right.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So as we have gone through exactly what we're going to do today, we're going to go and we're going to start. So let me go to my console. So I have my console and I have my Athena. if anything, you can just, if you don't have it automatically there, you can search for Athena. You can go to it, and then I'm going to go to the left pane, and I'm going to click on the data sources and catalog. So what I'm pretty much want to do is create a new data source, right? So I'm going to click on create data source. And the first one that we're going to do is DynamoDB. So it's already here. So I'm just going to click it. And then I'm going to put next. So then we're going to fill up the different information regarding the data source, like the data source name. So I want to call it Dynamo _DB. And then I'm going to copy here. And then just in the description, I'm going to put connection. So we're going to have a SPO location in Amazon S3. So we're pretty much, this is going to be where all of the data is going to be backed up, right? So we're going to look first. We have to browse for the S3 bucket where our information is in. So for this one, we're going to click on the Athena Federation Workshop. And because we're using it as a SPO bucket, I'm going to add the sidebar Athena SPO Dynamo, and I'm going to use a randomly generated key. Wow, I couldn't say that today. Lambda execution IAM row.
Randomly generated key.
Yes, there you go. There you go. Perfect.
That's not as much a tongue twister as I thought it might be when you said it.
Okay. So I'll go ahead, and I think that should be everything. So I'm going to click on next. And then I'm going to review and create, just making sure everything is good. I just want to make sure that I didn't skip anything. Perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and click, I acknowledge that Athena will create a resource on my behalf. And then I'm going to click on create data source. And this shouldn't take too long to create, but that's pretty much what you would do to connect to DynamoDB. So as you can see, pretty straightforward. Not a lot of steps to cover as you do that.
So remind me, Zhamara, what data is in this DynamoDB?
So
database?
in the DynamoDB, and I think I still have it here, we're going to have the part and part sub data. That's the sales data that we're going to be pulling from DynamoDB.
Okay.
All right, so we'll wait a couple of minutes while that it's created. And in the meantime, do we have any questions regarding? I guess in the meantime,
why is Bob not allowed made this face earlier. I don't know what it means.
What face? I can't really see it. It's very small.
It was an
but
emoji.
I kind of wanted to talk about like the available data source connectors that we have. So as you can see, there is a long list that you can use. And for example, we did Dynamo. So I guess I'll push this link with you all so you can kind of go through and also see how all of these work within Athena. So it just kind of give you some more information regarding the different sources that you have at your disposal. All right.
One other question was, how is the data getting into those databases that we're going to query? Well, I think for this purpose, it's kind of demo data.
Yeah, this is all demo data. This is all sample data that we're using. It is not actually coming from like an actual organization or anything like that. It's just sample data that we're using for the purpose of showcasing the different steps and how you would ingest that data by querying Athena. And every time that this happened, that we're kind of like, I was about to tell you, oh, I guess we're going to need elevator music. And then it was like, no, we don't. I'm already ready to go.
See, it's a little bit faster today.
It takes a little bit faster. Okay, so now that we have made that connection, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to my query editor. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to run a couple of queries. So the data source that I want to use is the DynamoDB, because that's the connection that we just did. And remember how we talked about the tables of data that are going to be pulled from DynamoDB, and if we can refer back, we were going to have the part and part sub tables. And as you can see here, you automatically see them populate once you pull that up. So, okay, so let's query some stuff. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to paste these two queries. And I'm going to highlight the first one and I'm going to go ahead and run it. And it completed like super quick. And as you can see, we have all the information regarding that specific database. So pretty quick. And then I'm going to go to the next one and run the query here.
So these are both running out of the DynamoDB?
Out of the DynamoDB. You're literally querying from that DynamoDB connection.
Got it. So
Yes.
this is another area where, like, for security reasons, you might not need to access the data on the database. We don't want to give you access to the database itself.
Right,
This is an easier way to do it.
So I was going to mention that, right? Like, you know how in past episode we talked about work groups and who has access to which data, how you can restrict, let's say, the amount of data that you're pulling. And to your point, you don't want everybody to just have access straight to the database itself, but you can always create that connection with Athena. And then you can give the permissions to query that specific data that you want out of there for the purpose of, least privilege. Whoever needs to know knows, and not everybody has access.
Got it.
All right, cool. So that was the DynamoDB portion. So 1 down and 3 to go. So far, so good. And if you're stuck in any step or you have any questions regarding, feel free to interrupt me at any time. Okay, so now we're going to move over to the Aurora connector. So we're pretty much going to go through the same kind of steps, data source and catalogs. We're going to create a data source, and I'm going to put MySQL, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it MySQL. MySQL connection in description, which you don't have to have. It's optional, but just good to kind of have it. This is where things get more interesting. So as we have to fill out the host and the port and the database and all these different parameters that it's asking us for, since we deploy all of this with CloudFormation, so I need to get all of this information from my CloudFormation stack. So you will pretty much go, and let me add it here. Okay, so you will pretty much go to your CloudFormation stack. You will create on the stack that you're using. You will go to Outpost, and that's where pretty much you will find all the information that you will need to go through the motions of filling out the different parameters while we create our connection with MySQL.
So in real life, you just find the friendly DB admin.
Exactly.
And if you are the DB admin and you forgot your password, you might have to go through some
hoops,
some resets to get back into your database.
Exactly. So for the host, right here, we're going to need our RDS instance address. So we're going to go to our CloudFormation, and then we're going to pretty much copy this and just going to put it here. Take that because I took it as a link, but I don't really need to have it as a link. So I add that. We're going to use port 3306. And
that's
then,
the default port, right?
Yeah. And then we're going to go and the database name is going to be sales. Then we're going to go down to AWS secret. So we're going to do the Athena JDBC Federation. And then the SPIO location is pretty much going to be the same thing. You're going to browse through S3. You're going to pick the Athena Federation or the bucket that you have. And we're going to add the exact same thing that we did before, the stash with the Athena.
So what we're doing here, folks, is, if I'm reading this correctly, is like we need a place to dump out the data that we're pulling from the query itself onto S3. So please put this in a secure location. Don't just dump it anywhere, because maybe that data is special.
Exactly. Okay, so network settings, the VPC. So we're going to go back to our CloudFormation stack, and we're going to be using the one that ends in 151. So from the drop down, we see it right here, 151, and then the subnet as well ends in 49F. So subnet 49F, and then the security group, it's going to be C90. So C90. And then we're going to leave everything else as is, create and use a new execute role. And then we're going to go ahead and click next. We're going to review that we filled up all the required information. And then we're going to click in the acknowledge. Then I'm going to create the data source. And just to remember, the data that we're going to be pulling out of here will be the orders, the customer, and the supplier.
So we're making that connection.
We're making that connection, exactly.
How long does this take? Because now we're actually instantiating something.
Yeah, exactly. We're pulling more data this time around, so I think it would take a bit longer, but it shouldn't be too. It shouldn't be too long.
Do you want the music?
Sure, or
Let's see,
we could go in the elevator music. Yes, if we don't have any comments, concerns, or questions.
No, they're following along. Maybe they're quiet now.
Okay, good, awesome, perfect.
You said good, awesome, and then perfect.
Well, I hope that everyone had a good Mother's Day weekend. Matt and I were just talking about that before the episode began, how yesterday was Mother's Day. So if you're a mother and you're tuning in, happy belated Mother's Day.
Crazy Jack said we're keeping it groovy. Yeah, it's true. Look, I don't like to watch paint dry or watch things spin as much as the next person, so we gotta keep your attention somehow here on Tech
we need to, exactly. Yeah. Right.
This is always the thing where when I'm building something, I always mess up, is when someone asks me for credentials. I always mess it up.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Twitch? You should have a game to play while waiting.
Oh, you know what? Didn't we one time play that TikTok? But that was like kind of like we were.
Did you just call tic-tac-toe TikTok?
Yeah, tic-tac-toe. There you go.
You played that TikTok.
It's Monday, everyone. It's Monday.
Who's got their Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders?
Did you?
I got one.
Oh, nice. You know what? Actually, I do have my daughter saying like we needed to, and I was like, no, yours is perfectly fine. You don't need a new one.
She's saying we have a Nintendo Switch at home. We don't need a new Nintendo Switch.
Oh, look, Gen X Retro said I got one. Can't wait.
Just a few more weeks.
Just a few more weeks. So when is the official?
In June. Beginning of June.
Okay, so you're almost there.
So I guess I'll find Gen Extra in Mario Kart soon.
Oh, Mario Kart, I love that. I always lose, but it's a lot of fun.
Oh,
I'm just thankful that I don't drive in real life like I drive in Mario Kart, because that just would not be good.
I thought you were gonna say I don't drive in real life, and that's why I'm bad at driving in Mario Kart. I was like, wait, what?
No, not at all, not at all.
So new Donkey Kong looks amazing. I'm very excited. Though I think it's gonna be a little bit of a wait to get that game. I think it's June, July. When does it come out?
I don't know. Okay, let me see if maybe I can start going. I don't want it to. It's funny because it actually doesn't take that long to do, but today it's like we're waiting for pen to dry, like you said, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna take my time.
Yeah, I find like, especially like recently, and whenever I click something, I don't have instant gratification. I zone out, I forget what I'm doing. I go to a different tab, I check my email, then I go back. I'm like, wait, what was the thing
That is true. Because we always got something going on. We never really stare at at things to get deployed or things to go through. We're always like, okay, we'll come back to it. And we go to like 50 different tabs. And then we remember, oh yeah, well, I was in that first tab
Yeah,
first.
we can do another connector, right?
Yeah.
We can do this in parallel. Let's do it.
Okay, so let's go. So let me go back to my data source and catalogs. Oh, did it already do it? No.
Okay. It's building. It's building.
Okay, so I'm gonna create a new one now. So our next one, which will be an HBase connector. So we're gonna do the same thing, and we are actually going to look for a custom. So custom or share connector. Click next, and then
for which data source are we building this for?
This one is going to be the HBase on EMR, and this is going to put the line item table. So we're going to be getting that information. So this one should be rather quickly. My SQL is putting, it's the one that is pulling the most. So I'm guessing that's why it's taking a bit longer. Okay, so we're going to call it HBase. Connection, and then for the Lambda, this is gonna be the, where is it? HBase.
So in this specific case, this isn't something that we have out of the box. You need to find a Lambda for it or write your own code. That makes sense.
Okay. So we have that, and this one is pretty straightforward. So, oh, that one. Okay, and then click next.
Hey, Sam, welcome back. We're just adding, I think you were around for one of the other episodes, so we're just adding some new data to our Athena.
We're making new connections. So we're bringing a lot more data from, now we're going to have different data sources to query information from.
You just got one more left now, right?
See, this one, it went right in. See?
Well, yeah, but that's because you're just pointing it to a Lambda, right?
Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward.
Doesn't have to build anything in a VPC.
Right. So now we're going to do the Redis connection. So we're going to go back to data sources, and then we're going to do an add one, and we're going to look for Redis. All right. And this one, we're going to call Redis connection details. Just the same thing. It's going to be, where's my Redis? Right here.
Because this one also needs a Lambda function, even though you can pick it directly. So I guess, if someone's trying to follow along outside of this demo, do they have to write their own code?
I am not sure about that. I don't know it to that extent, but we can look to see whether we can provide them that information.
I mean, no worries, no worries.
All right, so where am I? Okay, review, and then so create data source.
I see Crazy Jack was saying the Lambda dumps data to S3. So the Lambda is doing the connection. It's providing the logic on the connection to Athena, if I have that correctly.
Okay, did this one create? Yeah, this one should have created already. Let me see. Yeah, everything should be good. So now that we have created all of our connections, we're gonna.
Oh, the MySQL one's done already?
Yeah, it seems like it is.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah,
all right, let's test it. Let's test it.
So we're gonna go back to query editor, and then which one was it? I wanna try the Aurora one first. So let me quickly grab that. Okay. Okay. So we'll do the same, but this time we're going to be looking at MySQL. And we're waiting for the tables to load, so we will see what we pull. And as you can see, this is all the tables.
Data.
So
none of this was there before, guys.
none of this was there before. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to highlight the first one, and we're going to run it.
So we're just checking to make sure the data is there, right?
Yep, and pretty quickly, 145 milliseconds. And as you can see, we have all of the information being pulled that we have queried for, right? So pretty straightforward.
And is this across all the different data sources?
No, this is literally just looking at the MySQL connection that we did. So we're pulling just from that specific data source.
Got it. Public Crypto asks, I mean, we can go to the CloudWatch metrics if we want. What kind of load does this bring to the RDS instance? Let's go. I mean, we can go. Do you want to check that out? Can we see? So I don't think it's going to be much. It's one query.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Let's see.
Sorry, what?
No, I thought that I had done something wrong, but it's not. So insights. No, I think that
you can do database insights if you want. I don't know if it's turned on. Let's see.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not sure if we have it set up. It should.
No,
it's not going to pull it. Yeah. Okay.
No, but if you go back really quick. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Not the backseat drive. If you go back out of the database insights, just go back to CloudWatch.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to metrics, all metrics.
Let's see. Athena.
And then we go to, well, no, not Athena. We want to go, we want to check the RDS. So go to RDS. Okay. And we can just do automatic dashboard. That would have been fine too. We can do DB instance identifier.
Okay.
And we can find the CPU utilization. Is that the right one?
I'm not sure. Federation. Yeah, this should be the one. Let me see. From when is this? 3 hours. Let's see.
Well, we're gonna have to go for like the last minute. But you have to check. You have to check the CPU off first.
Ooh.
So check CPU.
I'm looking.
At the bottom. At the bottom.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So then if we do like last 5 minutes. Not that much.
Not that much. Yeah.
So this
that
is your question is answered now, Pablo Crypto. Let's see. What is the most common thing stored in RDS and DynamoDB storage? So, well, those are two very different places to store data. Like DynamoDB, you can pretty much put anything in there.
Mm-hmm.
RDS is going to be actual like schema data.
Mm-hmm.
Like data. I don't know. I think of like.
I love it. You're like data.
Well, I think anything in a relational database. You can tell I'm not a database guy. But anything in a relational database is like, one big Excel spreadsheet to me of like, here are your columns, here are your rows, here's like all the data, all the values that you could possibly have. Where to me, DynamoDB is like.
I can play more around with it.
I can throw pictures in there. I can throw media.
It's more versatile. Yes.
Way more versatile.
All right. So let's go back to Athena. Okay. So we tested out the MySQL. So let's go now. Which one was the one that we did next? Was it Redis or was it HBase? Can't remember.
I don't know. I think we did
HBase.
Oh, there's like a little glare on me. I'm sorry. I'm like, whoop.
Okay.
So if an Excel is if our RDS is an Excel sheet of random BS and DynamoDB is just drag and drop of random stuff, but how do I see that? Or you can't, or it's just there. So you can just query. I mean, that's what we're kind of doing is just giving you that we're doing a select star, but we're limiting to 10. So we're just getting an example of a little bit of what's in there.
It's not the whole entire thing. Cut. Yeah. Okay, so as you remember how HBase kind of went like so much faster, we like barely hit like create and it just like automatically was successful. So like it was only bringing in one table, right?
Oh, okay.
So it was like super quick. So actually in here, if I just kind of want to test it out, I could just preview the table and that pretty much runs the query automatically of what I'm looking for. Oh, it made me lie. What did I do wrong? Let me see. Generate user error, encounter an exception.
Uh-oh.
Executed in context retrieve message. Can't get the location for replica. Okay.
We just create against the default database, so that's why.
Yeah. Let's see.
Here we go.
Okay, so let's run again.
It looks better. Takes a while though. You said it's only one table.
No, but this one, there you go. Okay, it came back. So it has the line item, ship, mail, truck. Okay, so yeah, it brought back the data. I guess what we did is instead of switching it to the HBase, we went to default, which it doesn't make any sense that it would do that, at least for like how I was building it out, but okay.
Crazy Jack said, "Have you cooked up Quicksights to any of the Athena output?" That's what we did last week.
That's what we did last week, and I mean, we'll share a workshop, and you can totally dive into it. But like we have talked about this before, right? You can leverage Quicksight actually when we're deploying the different dashboards for what is it called? For like I totally lost it, Matt. What am I trying to say?
Different dashboards
For the intelligence dashboards where you're like, we look into like your regular spend, you want to look more into your S3, that sort of thing. Actually, you can come back and query directly from here and do those visuals if that's like, your day-to-day job or something to make it easier on gathering that data. And it's something that we went over, I believe it was last week's episode, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's correct.
Yeah.
I was there, I promise.
You were there. All right, so now we'll go to Redis. That was the last one that we made a connection for. And then let's just choose, yeah, so it's Redis, it's loaded. We have the active orders. So we'll preview the table and it automatically start running.
So I will share.
Yep.
Swift Jaguar is asking, what is Quicksights? I'm going to actually share the little basic workshop that we covered last week. Then get a feel of what Quicksight is.
Yeah, I love Quicksight, so it's a lot of fun. All right, so as you can see, this one, I preview the table for nation as well. And as you can see, it does give me the codes for the different nations that are within this data set that we have connected. So that's pretty much like the setup stage, right? Like the connection paths, how to do those. Now I want to go towards the run the federated query. So now that all the connectors are deployed, we can run Athena queries that use those connectors, right? So we are already here in the in the different. Let's say you could do it by different work groups depending on the different permissions and things. As you can see, like there is many different that you can use, and you can just go back and go to the data source and specify the exact one that you want to do. The same thing is there is more than one database within that data source, and you will specify which database you want from that data source as well. So it's pretty straightforward. I encourage everyone to kind of take a look and then just kind of see how all of that, kind of works. But for the sake of like, let's just test it out and see how we will run, let's say, more queries. So if I want to go to my AWS data catalog, and I'm going to put none, and it's going to go to the default. I'm going to go to my save queries, and I'm going to select, which one is it? I think it's listed. profit, and let's load it, and let's run it.
So what is this? What are we running?
So now, as you can see, this is asking for different from different data. So you know how before when we were doing the connections, everything kind of had its own specific data that was pulling. So now let's say that you want to create a query that is pulling the data, but from the different connections at the same time. So instead of just querying that one data, now you're pretty much that data source. Now you're like looking at all like the bigger picture, if that makes sense, or I'm explaining myself, properly.
Mm-hmm. So are we creating a view, or what are we creating?
So pretty much what we're doing is querying the data. We're not creating a view. We're just querying like what we want to know, and then it's bringing back the information.
Yeah, because we saw the nation was in one place,
Mm-hmm.
and this probably is in a different place.
Yeah. So if we go back, nation was in Redis. Dynamo had part and parts up. Aurora had the orders, customer, supplier. HBase on EMR had the line item. So it's like different data residing in different connectors.
Then where is it getting the profit, the sum profit from?
The profit, let me see. So orders, customer, supply, part. Oh, so you remember how we created some tables as well that we did under Glue, and then we put under the AWS data catalog. So it's kind of inferring to all that data that we had already done before as well, because there's like all the connectors working together as a whole now.
Great.
All right. So does everybody is good with this so far? I know that we have probably like 15 more minutes or less, but this is pretty much taking care of the Athena Federated queries portion. Just if we have any questions, we can kind of run more queries to kind of see how it works, or we can jump in and cover the user-defined functions as well. So kind of giving it out there for you guys. Want to explore more with it?
I think we can move on.
Okay, cool. So I'll go ahead and I open this one up, and let me close this. So what is querying with user-defined functions? So user-defined functions in Athena allow you to create custom functions to process records or group of records. So a UDF accepts parameters, performs work, and then returns a result. So to use, you can do using external function clause before select statement. So you can kind of go to through this document that goes more in depth into exactly how you would use it. And you have those two options for deploying a Lambda function for Athena, UDF. You can deploy the function directly using the Lambda, or you can use the AWS Services Application Repository to deploy that as well. I'm not sure if I share this with you, but here it is, Matt.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to start by setting up the environment. So go to here, and I'm going to look for the cloud formation. Okay. And so we're going to pretty much be using the Visual Studio Code, or VS Code, which is the open source that is integrated development environment. And that's what we're going to be using to do this specific walkthrough of the session. So we're going to look for that one. We're going to click it. And we are going to go to Outpost. We have the password. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy it. And then we are going to open the URL, and then we're going to paste that passcode into here to get into it. Okay, so we're going to have a welcome, and we're going to wait for the terminal to come up. Next. All right, and so, okay. So we're gonna go ahead and we will clone the AWS Athena Query Federation repository. The repository is going to include the SDK and examples of a suite of data and source connectors. So for more information on this one, I'm going to share this one, Matt. There you go.
Okay. So what are we doing here in terms of like I've got data in Athena that I want to query. I also have this server. What's going on?
So pretty much what we are trying to, since now since Athena supports the UDF, right? This enables customers to write custom Scalar functions and evoke them in SQL queries. So while the Athena provides the building functions, the UDFs enable customers to perform custom processing, such as compressing and decompressing data or redacting sensitive data, which is what we're going to do right now. So let's say that you have sensitive data that's like people's birthdays or social security numbers or things like that that you don't want automatically be put out there. So you have a way to redact that sensitive data and be very customizable how it is displayed, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. I like that. You're defining what this data is so that folks that are on a need to know basis.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we doing that. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is run the clone. So we're gonna paste here, and we're gonna run it, and it just actually this one doesn't take too long. So I hope that we're able to get through it. I'm gonna go as fast as I can so you all can see the final product. Okay, so that's done. All right, so now we're gonna open it up, go to Athena, scroll all the way down to UDFs, CSRC, main, Java, and we're gonna go to the Athena UDF handler. Okay. So now we're going to add our UDF function. Like I said, what we want to do right now is redact, let's say that the last characters of any private information, social security number or credit card information from our customer. So what we're going to do is do a code snippet to add this. So let me go here. Oh, I think it's still not 100% there, but let me run it and hopefully kind of runs in parallel so we can get it going. Oh. Can you all see my screen still? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Ta-ta. All right.
Oh, Pablo Crypto is asking, what is a good use case where I'd run my queries in Athena versus the old-fashioned way, aka via a direct connection to my MySQL?
So we kind of touched upon this earlier today. Let's say that you don't want all of your teams to have direct access to your database. So instead you make those connections through Athena, and the different teams that need different type of data or within the same realm of data, they can use those connections to only have access to the data that you want them to out of that database, rather than kind of just having an open invitation to query directly. You can also, let's say, leverage the function of work groups within Athena, where you can create different work groups for the different responsibilities that your team might have and that different data that they handle, to specify exactly what they have access to, but then also how much data you can query within Athena and create kind of those limits if you're looking at things from the cost optimization point of view.
Good answer.
All right.
How are we doing on our...
We are still waiting. Hopefully we get to it before, but if not, I think that we still have some time. So hopefully it does get done before we have to wrap up.
Is there anything else that we can do while we're waiting for this?
No, it kind of has to go through the motions. If not, then we're not able to do it. Because at the end, what I want to do is be able to go back and use the query editor to run the query that I want to run that will yield back the results of customer sensitive information like their credit card and social security number. So then instead of you actually having access to the whole set of numbers, then you only have the partial 4 numbers. So you don't have full visibility into that sensitive information.
Got it. We're only at 11%?
I think it's the remaining. It doesn't take that long. Probably because we kind of did it back to back. By a way. Okay, so it's good. So a way that we know that it went through is because we see, you see how it has like this green line here. And this is exactly what we did. We redacted string to show only 4 characters. So now instead of having the whole set of numbers, we're only going to see those that last 4 characters. Okay, so we can move on to the next one. Let's see. So now we have to deploy the connector. The only thing that I'm not seeing here, it's like my build success, which it should be appearing. So that's like the only thing that it's like not 100% there. Although I already see the redaction taking place within the code itself, it doesn't seem like I have gotten a confirmation, unless I missed it. Did you see it?
No, it's too small for me. Victor, hello.
Yes, it's ready.
Welcome.
I think it's good. Okay. All right, so here, okay, so we're gonna deploy the connector now. So we're going to copy this and we're gonna add it here. And that's pretty much gonna publish into the S3 bucket, but we first need to redact the line for the S3 bucket. Oops, went too far. And then I'm going to go get my bucket information.
Victor says that they're done for today with a risk mitigation. Oh man, Victor's in security. Victor's making sure that I'm gonna say that the risks are mitigated. It's not.
Risk mitigated for what? What's going on?
I'm assuming security reasons.
Oh. Okay.
Hello. Welcome, Indian Outcast.
Okay.
So we're at the tail end of our episode, but we're about to see this user-defined function so that we can redact the data.
And then it's going to ask me if I wish to proceed. So I'm going to go ahead and put yes. I'm racing here. Sorry, I'm going like super fast, but I want to get to the part where you all get to see the fruits of my labor.
Yeah, what are you building right now? What's going on?
So I'm pretty much what I'm doing right now is deploying the connector. So once that connector is deployed, it also remember how we went through the motions of also making sure to point it to the S3 bucket. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, so build failure. What happened? Failed to execute. Okay, I probably put the wrong thing. Yeah, the wrong bucket. So I'm just gonna go back and get it. Okay, so I just need to go back to my cloud formation and make sure I grab the right bucket. BQ server, go to Outpost. Trying to go fast. Sorry.
It's okay. We got a little bit more time. A couple minutes extra.
S3. Here it is. All right. So here is that. And let me grab the snippet again. Okay. So we should be. And then we're gonna grab.
Victor, are you saying that this Twitch stream is doing almost 10% of your laptop right now? That's not good.
That's definitely not good. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's going. Oh, it's still doing. I'm doing something wrong. I think we're out of time. Are we?
We have 2 minutes left.
2 minutes left. Okay. See.
You're trying to figure out what the error is?
Oh, I know. I missed a step. My bad. I was going so fast I forgot to build a jar file. That's what I did wrong.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. So let's build a jar file. Okay. Well, in the meantime, I hope that everyone enjoyed this past 3 weeks of hearing me speak and talk about Amazon Athena and Amazon Quicksight and EMR and Glue and everything. So I just really hope everybody kind of getting excited about using Amazon Athena. I know that a lot of you today kind of mentioned how you haven't done so and thought that Athena was Alexa's sister. Now you kind of know a little more about it, and I hope that you all kind of, get your hands on keyboards and play around with Amazon Athena's capabilities.
And then while we're waiting for this to finish, so we can show you the final product in the last minute or so, next week.
Okay, keep going.
We are diving into a topic that I have tried to cover previously and couldn't, which is how do you set up a direct connect? Now, it's kind of hard to do this, both if you're studying for a certification or if you just manage a direct connector or are a networking person. I used to be a networking person back in the day, because I don't want to have to actually set up a physical fiber optic cross connect to play with direct connect. So I'm going to show you in my special environment what that looks like, how you set it up. And that way, hopefully, it will help you with any exams, or in real life, if you are the person that is there when your company decides to provision a direct connect. So I'm really excited about it. Knock on wood, everything works properly. Otherwise, we might have to go back to the whiteboard, but I don't think so this time. Robert Tables asks, well, then who is Alexa's sister? You have to ask her that. I don't know who's in the Alexa family these days.
Well, yeah. Alexa's an only child, and that's okay. Well, there is different names that you can call it. So you can kind of.
Is your thing ready, Zhamara?
Yeah, my thing is ready. So
Let's
I don't think that
we got 1 minute left. We're on the wire. Let's go. Come on.
Okay. All right.
The producers are gonna cut us off.
Okay. So copy, and then let's open. And so pretty much when that gets done, when the connection gets established, it's pretty much going to give you an output link to the serverless application repository. And as you can see, we have the new connection of the Athena user-defined functions v2. We are not going to have the time today to actually finish the setup. And here we will have to do a few more setups before we can actually go and query. But I don't want to leave you guys with a cliffhanger. So I'm actually going to share the exact step where we are at in the workshop that you can point back to if you want to finish it out and be like, oh, okay, you can come back next week and tell me, Zhamara, I know exactly where you ended because I went ahead and I did it.
All right, well, that's all the time we got for folks. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you all, everybody.